Hey, QuaranTeens, Pastor Bryce here, and we're now into day 3 since the government told us that it wasn't wise for us to meet in groups larger than 10. And so I just wanted to send out a quick devotional for you to keep you connected and to keep you thinking on God's Word. As I was thinking this past week about some things that the Lord was doing in my heart through all of this, I was reminded of a children's church worker back when I was a kid. And this children's church worker had this thing that he would do. Whenever we would get out of hand, he would shout, "Attitude check." And whenever we heard that, we knew exactly what we were supposed to do. We were to stop whatever we were doing and give him our undivided attention. And you know what? I feel like in some ways that's exactly what God has done in my life and probably the life of millions throughout the world throughout this whole ordeal. I've realized in the past week that there are some things in my life that I was holding on to that I probably shouldn't have been holding on to as tightly as I was. And I've had to think to myself multiple times throughout this week, maybe God is putting us through something in order to grow and to stretch our faith. And in thinking about this, I was reminded of Matthew chapter 14, verses 25 through 29. And it says this, "Now in the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went to them, walking on the sea. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, 'It's a ghost,' and they cried out for fear. But immediately Jesus spoke to them, saying, 'Be of good cheer. It is I. Do not be afraid.' And Peter answered him and said, 'Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water.' So he said, 'Come.' And when Peter had come down out of the boat, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. But when he saw that the wind was boisterous, he was afraid. And beginning to sink, he cried out, saying, 'Lord, save me.' And immediately Jesus stretched out his hand and caught him and said to him, 'O you of little faith, why did you doubt?' And when they got into the boat, the wind ceased. Then those who were in the boat came and worshipped him, saying, 'Truly, you are the Son of God.'" In this passage, Peter and the disciples are in a boat, and out of nowhere, totally out of their control, there comes this great storm. And so Jesus comes and he walks out to them on the water, and he invites Peter to come and to walk on the water with him. And so Peter does. And when Peter goes out to walk on the water, at some point he looks around him and he sees the violence of the storm, and he loses faith and he sinks back down into the water. And Jesus did recognize the fact that at this moment, Peter had little faith. But there's no doubt in my mind that Jesus used this incident in Peter's life in order to grow his faith. And you know what? Maybe we're going through a similar experience where we were comfortable in our boat. And now we've realized that there is a storm around us and it is totally out of our control. And we might even consider what is going on to be evil. But by faith, we must remember what Joseph said. When his brothers sold him into slavery, eventually when they were reunited, Joseph made the statement that what they meant for evil, God meant for good. And you know what? What we look around and what we see in the world today with the coronavirus, we might look at and say, man, this is an evil thing. But it might be something that God intends for good. It might be something that is intended to stretch our faith. It might be something that makes us uncomfortable for a while, but hey, maybe we were too comfortable before. Maybe all of us need a little bit of an attitude check. And so I just want to encourage you in day 3 of our quarantine to don't forget to continually look to Jesus, because he is what we should have faith in. Thanks for joining us here on day 3 of our quarantine, and I hope this was an encouragement to you, and we hope you'll come back and join us again.